housing. It's been a while. It's been since June. Took a little bit of time off. Had a lot of summer, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let me make sure you guys can see this guy. All right. So what happened? Did we go anywhere this summer?
Yeah, we went to Utah, and then we had a short vacation with our family.
We went to Utah and had a nice vacation with the family, huh? Great. Now what are we doing this weekend?
I have a tournament.
Soccer tournament. Soccer is back in full. And then we start school when?
Next Tuesday.
That's important to remember. Next Tuesday we start school. That is very important to remember. All right. What? I hope I'm live.
Says live.
Says live.
Says 10 people watching.
Says 10 people are watching. Let's see. Who do we have here?
Athena Thomas.
Athena Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And did you have a fun summer?
Yes.
Good.
My birthday was on Tuesday.
Oh, her birthday was on Tuesday. She had a fun birthday. When's our birthday party?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're juggling this wonderful tournament and a birthday party at the same time.
And
Are we
I've been
excited?
having soccer. I have soccer scrimmage.
Yeah, soccer scrimmage day, and then a week from this weekend you have your tournament, of which I help coach.
What?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Right. She starts school on Tuesday as well. What are you changing schools, right? You're no longer in elementary. You're in a what? Middle school?
Middle school.
Wow. She has a locker and everything. Awesome. Okay. Weird. That's bizarre.
Dad, save me.
So it says that I'm live on Reports on Housing, not live on... Huh. That's bizarre. Yeah,
Bizarre.
I'm editing the destination right now. It says I'm sending data right now. Let's see. Huh. It says weird. Strange.
Just so you know.
Yeah, just so I know, she said, I am only on live on Reports on Housing, but Facebook business page for some reason, not on my personal page.
Can you just make a note on your personal page?
Yes, I can do that. Bizarre! Yay! Love these kind of glitches with technology. Let's see. Go to www.facebook.com/reports on housing for the Facebook Live. Okay, I posted that, so hopefully the world sees it. Strange that happened. Little glitch. It says it's sending data.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Okay, good.
No, I don't.
All right. Anyhow, I was wondering why there were so few people, because so many people go to my personal page and can't see it. So, bizarre. Okay. Anyhow, who's this? Who do we have here? Zeke.
Yeah.
Your name is Zeke?
Yeah. Wait, what? Why is it on camera?
What's that? Oh, I don't know. I did it so they could see the kids.
Oh, I didn't know.
My director and producer is wondering why my head's being cut off, and that's because I wanted them to be able to see these guys. Your name is Zeke?
Yeah.
Are you having fun summer?
Yeah.
Are you a good swimmer?
Yeah.
That's good. Anything you'd like to say to everybody?
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
I want to say, Dr. Paul was me and Lana.
And Cena.
And Cena. Let's say
Awesome.
Daddy, please.
My love. I think I had it muted as well.
Oh, no.
Yes. So not only is it not working, it says I'm offline on everything.
I can see you.
Can you?
I can't. I can hear you. I just keep it on mute though.
Maybe it's something wrong.
I keep it mute so you don't. I think you're fine.
What happened, Kiki?
Huh. There we go. Anyhow. Sorry. Thank you. Bye, Zeke. I mean, Zeke do. Okay, somebody's tired, ready for a nap. Awesome. So we are live. Hopefully everybody can hear me. We're nice and loud and clear. There have been some issues. Haven't done this in a while, so bear with me for a second. Just want to make sure. Yeah, edit. That's good. Yes, all good. I'm making sure we're all good before we proceed because everybody can hear me. Everything's good. I clicked on a link from your email yesterday. Good. All right. So we are live. We are going. And let's see. Okay. So let's do this thing. And I'm going to share my screen, get going. Yeah, I have all these people asking me if I'm on Facebook right now. It is very disappointing that I'm having a problem with Restream. So I'm online on Reports on Housing and on YouTube. So hopefully everybody's able to get to it and watch this presentation. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get started. And I'll add this to my site anyways for all those people that have missed it. Let's get the show on the road. I'd like to, of course, thank our wonderful sponsor. It's been a bit, but Kevin Buddy, Monaco's Financial. He deals, of course, with more than one kind of borrower. So there's got to be more than one kind of loan as well. Everything from full documentation loans to alternative documentation loans to investor financing to private money loans. And he's got loads and loads of experience. He's been doing this since 1976. And matter of fact, he helped me with my very own refinance. So I was very happy to get my own home refinanced and save a lot of money for the family. And it was a seamless, incredible process. So you too can have Kevin Buddy help you and your clients at Monaco's Financial. And you can reach him at 949-422-2075. That's 949-422-2075. Thanks much, Kevin Buddy. We really do appreciate all that you've done to support us and also with helping us with our own refinance of our home. So our company's Reports on Housing. It's your local real estate snapshot. It's really about, there's real power and strength to having data and statistics and charts and graphs and everything you need to know to articulate what's going on in the marketplace. The more data you have, the more it's hard for people to refute. And that's what we like to bring, strength and data. We don't focus a lot on closed sales. That's a reflection of the past. Instead, we like to focus on looking into the future and looking at what's going on right now. What's the active supply of homes available? That is supply, the active inventory. Then we have the last 30 days worth of pending sales activity. That's demand. And then from supply and demand, we're able to get you the speed of the market. And we're really about setting expectations of everybody. So so when neighbors and family and friend and dentists and doctors and everybody you come in contact with have a big opinion about real estate, that's not really what they focus on. Everybody has a big opinion, and that's about it. So we have reports that dot all over Southern California. We're looking at expanding into other counties throughout California, as well as other states as well. We're just starting to look into that as well, because these markets are really behaving similarly when I start carving through the data. The most recent one that we had that came out for San Diego, Orange County, and Los Angeles is forbearance, foreclosures, and facts. And really, we went into talking about distressed sales and why forbearance is not going to lead to a wave of foreclosures. And so go to reportsonhousing.com and click on subscribe. And from there, you're able to, we'll send you, after you subscribe, the most recent report. It's by email. And at the very bottom, there's a bunch of links for printing it out, copy, cut, edit, paste. That's Word, Excel spreadsheets, excerpts, and as well as a ton of charts. If anybody's clicked on those charts, you'll see we have an absolute plethora of them. I'd print out everything, bring them to every kind of presentation you can to show that you're in command of the data. This thing comes out every 2 weeks. San Bernardino, Riverside get the one on foreclosures and forbearance and facts. That they get theirs that's coming up Monday. We actually crunched the numbers last night. It's $15 per month or $150 per year, and you get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code August. So go ahead and utilize that coupon code for a free month. And so that gets us to our topic of the day: housing will not cool. And I know that this is counterintuitive because it's counter to what everybody is talking about, but I'll get into exactly what that means. And really, you got the gossip factory out there. It's been working absolutely overtime, and everybody seems to have an opinion about real estate, kind of like what I was talking about. And it doesn't matter if they are even in it, they've got an opinion about it based upon everything that they've heard. And a lot of these opinions are actually formulated about what's going on with new home sales data. And new home sales data is a completely different animal. Matter of fact, I don't even look at it the same as residential resale. And I focus on residential resale. I know what's going on with new homes. It's a totally different commodity than residential real estate, and residential real estate resale is a lot bigger than brand new home sales. So please, every time you hear a lot of these statistics, a lot of them are just talking about new home sales and are extrapolating that across all markets with residential resale, and it does not make any sense. And there's plenty of social media misinformation out there. You can get a ton of topics, from 3-minute TikTok videos to half-hour presentations on YouTube. And a matter of fact, I heard this guy's absolutely convinced that Boise, Idaho is going to be the beginning of the crash across the United States, and it's coming really quick. And absolutely couldn't be any more wrong, because what he was actually looking at is where inventory has changed over the past several months. And I'm going to get into the different inventory changes shortly. So let's just dive right into it. The housing supply. And yes, the housing market overall is a little on the crazy side, a little on the nutty side. And if you look at this, it really boils down to a supply and demand issue. And supply and demand has just been off of the charts. And let's see. I'm just making sure. Can everybody let's see, the last comment I have, I like Flint. Is there anybody out there that they can put something in the comments so that I know that people are actually watching this? Because it says we can hear you, and I'm not seeing anything on this. It says I'm live. It says 108 people are watching it. So I guess everybody is engaged. There's 108 people. Anyway, supply and demand, that's really what it's about. And there really is an issue in not enough supply. Thanks, guys, for telling me you can see it and you're watching. Good. There's not enough supply, and that really has a lot to do with COVID. COVID-19 really added to the problem of the current market that we're dealing with. There really is a housing crisis, and it has everything to do with supply and demand. So we already had a low supply prior to COVID, and COVID just made everything a lot worse. And we now have a very, very limited supply. And then these low interest rates worked on the demand side to make it extra juice. So now it was like the perfect storm, throw in COVID in the midst of that to bring down record low interest rates, along with very, very low inventory. And thus we have the marketplace that we're in right now that doesn't seem like it's shifting gears much at all. If you look at interest rates, this is the primary mortgage market survey done by Freddie Mac. It's been done for over 50 years. 2.87%. That was the most recent reading. It was at 2.77% last week. We had a very good jobs report last week, and unemployment fell. So as a result, we got a little blip up in mortgage rates. And that's what I see. When you get lots of good news, that's what makes mortgage rates go up. And this latest surge in the Delta virus is what helped bring the rates down. And that's why we've been dealing with these rates that are knocking on the door of the all-time low of 2.65%. But recent increase, a little slight increase, still very, very low, well below 3%, well below the 3.18% that we experienced in March. And here's the thing, the mortgage rates really have beat everybody's expectations. We thought that we were going to get higher rates, and there was a lot of great reasons for why we thought interest rates were going to rise. I thought rates would go to from 3.25% to maybe 3.5% by year's end. And I wasn't alone in my thinking on that. If you look at the fourth quarter of 2021, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, NAR, all at about 3.4%, and Mortgage Bankers Association at 3.7%. You could see where they think we were supposed to be right now. Everybody's been off the mark on this, and it's been a lot lower. Part of that is worldwide appetite for United States treasuries, and a lot of people looking to park their money in the United States. So it's just brought these rates down to where what we're dealing with right now, extremely low rates. And as a result of this very low supply and very hot demand, we've had this. And the Case-Shiller, since I've been off air and come back on, has been just absolutely surging. Nationally, Case-Shiller has been done since 1988. And nationally, the national index has never been higher. It's right now just about 17% year-over-year growth in the national index. And this is probably the best reading for what appreciation has done. And in some markets, it's a lot more. In some markets, it's a little bit less. But the average across the United States is 17%. I was comparing it to 2012, 2013, but it's far exceeding it. And that's because in the second half of 2021, I thought that we were going to get interest rates that come down that were going to go up, and it was going to cause a buildup in the inventory and just slow the market slightly. And we've had the exact opposite happen. So as a result, it continues to surge. The Southern California supply, if you look at it, this is the active listing inventory. This was as of last Thursday, the numbers for all SoCal, and August 5th was at 20,458. It was up 1% or 214 homes in a 2-week period. And you can see it's kind of flat. It's not really going up that fast, and that's where it's at right now. And last year we were 25,534, only 25% higher than today. And it looks like, man, well, when you compare year over year, it doesn't look like there's that much more inventory last year, and it looks like that should be normal. But that green line is hardly normal. Now, I'm not even talking about the 5-year average, because 3-year average is even better than the 5-year average, is what I found while I had that time off. And I'm looking at 2017 to 2019, throwing out 2020 because you can't. All the numbers were skewed due to COVID. And the 3-year average for the inventory prior to the pandemic was 41,165 at this time of the year in August. That is 101% more, which means double where we are today. So you can imagine we are still dealing with extremely low inventory levels. And the problem is so many people are comparing it to last year, and which I'll do in a second to show you what that does. Since June, in our various counties, since June 24th, when I last had a housing debrief, we were at 18,449. It's gone up 11% since, so we've seen some rise. And that's what I told you was going to happen with a summer market. In 2021, the low for our inventory actually happened on April 1st at 15,395, and we've gone up 33% since. So it sounds like we added all of these homes, went from 15,395 to 20,458 across Southern California. So, but remember, where should we be? 41,165 is where we should be right now. Today, we're at 20,597. It's up 0.7% from last week. So not a big change from last week. So it's just continuing that methodical, it's like tapping out right now. And speaking of tapping out, that's typically what happens. It taps out between July and about the 3rd week of August, which is coming up. And that's actually when I think that we're going to tap out in this. What I was hoping for is that the inventory would continue to rise as we had interest rates go up. And that's because there'd be a lot of buyers that would walk away if a home was overvalued. And there's a lot of prices that are coming on where they're overpriced. You can kind of get away with it in the market that we're in right now. But if rates were going up, their buyers would balk, and you'd see this rise in the inventory. Unfortunately, we're not seeing a rise in interest rates. We're seeing the opposite. It's gone down and it's flat. So as a result, we're going to see the inventory go down slightly from where we are right now. And then once we hit Thanksgiving, the week before Thanksgiving, we're going to get this big drop in inventory. And if you see this is actually where I think the inventory is going to start, which means that I actually think that 2022, if we definitively reach this peak within the next couple of weeks, 2022 is going to have a start to the year, the inventory wise, less than where we started this year. And this year was a record low. So that would be another record, and it would be even less inventory. That looks like where it's going, and it has everything to do with these interest rates being below 3%. Now, I'm going to talk about today in each of the counties and tell you and compare it to the 3-year average, because this is what people focus on. In Los Angeles, it's at 8,562. It's gone up 19% since the low of that was reached on April 1st in Los Angeles. But Los Angeles 3-year average prior to COVID is at 13,262, which is 55% higher than where we are today. And in Orange County, it's at 2,520. It's up 14% since it hit a low on June 10th, so more recent. And Orange County's 3-year average is 6,753. That's 168% higher than today. So that's 2.5 times, so more than double. Riverside County is at 3,273. It's actually gone up 56% since the low of March 25th. But keep in mind, the Inland Empire, Riverside and San Bernardino, they were operating at the lowest level. They're the second lowest metro across the United States in terms of the fall in their inventory. So they're coming back a little bit. So it sounds like, boy, they have a lot more homes on the market. But look, 3,273, look at the 3-year average is 8,281, which is 153% higher than where we are today. So even with that rise, which they were arguably at way too low, it was like an empty gas tank back in March. San Bernardino hit their low in February, and it's 2,986. That's where they are today. So they are up 91% since hitting that low. But San Bernardino's at their 3-year average is 5,845, which is 96% higher than today, which is nearly double where it is today. So you can see that even though they've come up and is offering a bit of relief, the problem is it's still way off of a normal market. There's still far too few homes compared to where we are normally. In San Diego, 3,180, up 46% since the low reached on April 1st. And San Diego County's 3-year average, 7,083. So it's 123% higher than today. So you get the flavor of this. So people focus on the rise in inventory and call this a slowdown, like a buyer's market. And I've heard this on a lot of YouTube channels and things like that. And that's driving me nuts, because you got to look at what it is in according to the averages, most recent averages prior to COVID. And you definitely can't compare it to last year, and I'll show you that in demand. But the active listing inventory, you could see. So there's this little bit of a U where it went down and it went back up. And that's what everybody's talking about. Wow, it's gone way up. So if you hyper focus just on that little piece, yeah, it looks like the market's slowing down. But yet when I draw the line across and you see that this is a all-time low still level that we're still at. And I'm even telling you at the start of next year, 2022, we may even start at another record low level compared to where we are today. So everybody is hyper-focused on this little piece that's right there. So, and of course, there's not a lot of homes on the market. I need you to understand that compared to the 3-year average in Southern California, the number of for sale signs hammered into the ground, the first half of 2021 was missing 9%, 13,676 for sale signs across Southern California during the first half of 2021. In July, it was missing 3% compared to the 3-year average of July's. And I don't compare 2020, it's 2017, 18, and 19, because that's the most recent period that kind of would jive to what we're doing right now. You look at last year, and it was a COVID year, so everything was skewed. But 739 homes, you're saying, well, that's not that many. But the problem is there's not enough homes on the market, period. So we're just adding to the problem. If this thing was at least zero or positive, we'd be in a much better spot. And their SoCal demand has been crazy. I said it's nutty. And if you look at this is the last 30 days worth of pending sales. Demand on August 5th was at 18,446. That was last Thursday. It was basically flat, up 0%, just an additional 56 pending sales, but it was actually up after coming down, which it normally does during the summer. And last year at this time, we were at 21,393. So you can see, well, compared to last year, it's slower than last year. But so last year's 16% higher, or an extra 2,947 pending sales in a 30-day period. But keep in mind, that was that missed spring. If you look backwards at that green line, we did nothing in the spring. And then we just moved our entire spring market over to the summertime, and it did not really start until July. And you can see that. Instead, we had the luxury this year of having this nice, long, drawn-out spring market that is going to continue to do well throughout the rest of the year and then come down, which is why this year is going to beat out last year in terms of number of closed sales. So 3-year average is at 16,757 pending sales. So that's less, 9% less, which shows you that our typically we have less demand and we have more inventory, which is more of a balanced kind of market rather than the crazy market that we're in today. Since June 24th, 19,132. That's down 3% since June 24th when I last had one of these housing debriefs. The height for demand was achieved on May 28th, right before June. So that's right there with when demand usually peaks. And 19,889, it's gone down 7% since. This is typical for summer. Today, it's at 18,835. It's actually up 2%. This has a lot to do with this reading that I'm doing for the last 4 weeks, and that's with a very, very favorable interest rate. And it's just moving the needle a little bit, even though we're in the midst of summer. So really what the fuel of demand is definitely these low interest rates. And we've had multiple offer auction-like atmospheres. And as a result, everything's selling for over asking price. This is this California Association Realtors slide where this is for the month of June. 71.4% of all homes in the state of California sold above their asking price. That's huge. 71.4%. If you wrap your head around that, that's most homes are selling for above their asking price, which just shows you the kind of market that we're presently in. And what everybody forgets is this is why you can't compare year-over-year data. This was the first half of 2020 when we went into COVID. And so we didn't really have demand. So we just pushed the demand forward, like what I was talking about. So you really can't focus on this year over year data because it just looks skewed when you're looking at 2020. And so many people are looking at it and talking about the number of escrows last year compared to this year. And you can't. Because last year we were just starting our deep, hot seller's market. It was extremely hot. We already had that. Now we're into our normal summer cycle that we have. And this is where you typically peak for demand. It's between about the second week of April to the end of May. And that's exactly what happened as we peaked at the end of May. And then from here, we're just going to see a really slight drop in demand. And then we get to the holidays and then a big drop in demand. This is typically where we are, which will beat the normal average and won't beat last year at the same time. So how hot is the market? How fast are we moving? Well, the bottom line, this is the expected market time. If you place your home on the market, when are you going to open up escrow? And you can see it right here. It is on August 5th, 33 days expected market time. It was flat for a 2-week period. It was 33 days the 2 weeks prior, and it's 33 days again on August 5th. And last year at the same time, we were at 36 days. So it looks like those numbers are very, very close as far as how hot the market was. But by the time we got to August, as you can see, the expected market time kept on dropping, getting hotter and hotter. And that's where we're getting to exactly where we were last year. So last year at 36 days, We're a little bit better than that right now. The 3-year average for right now, 2017 to 2019, is 74 days. So more than double where we are today. On June 24th, before I went on vacation, went on a hiatus, we were at a 29-day expected market time. And then the low was achieved on April 1st at 24 days. So everybody focuses on that. It went from 24 days all the way to 33 days, which is a 9-day difference. So things have really slowed down, but I'm gonna have to put that in perspective for you. And today, after crunching the numbers, we're at a 33-day expected market time. So it really has not changed much in the last 5 weeks nearly. So if we look at the expected market time, between 60 and 90 is what we call a slight seller's market. So everything below black is a seller's market. So I like to talk about 2019. That was where we had a slight seller's market. We didn't appreciate much, but sellers got to call a few more of the shots. We're just appreciating slightly. Below 60 is where it gets to be a hot seller's market, and that is exactly where we're operating. So what I thought is we were going to get this rise in inventory with a rise in interest rates, and instead the opposite happened. So if we had the rise in inventory, we would have had a rise in the expected market time, and things would have slowed down, which I was rooting for the marketplace. I don't like this kind of a marketplace where we're just charging forward. Instead, it's just going to be flat for the rest of the year. It's going to remain below that 40-day mark for pretty much the rest of the year. And I do want to point out something. It's below that 40 mark. That 40-day mark is what is my threshold for an insane market. And that is where we are currently today. It will remain insane for the rest of the year. So that's why I'm saying that housing will not cool. And if you look at this, once again, on the right-hand side, this is what everybody likes to hyper-focus on, is this right-hand side where it went down and now it's gotten a little bit slower. But I called that. I said that we're going to get the slowdown with the summertime. And that's normal. But if you look at the expected market time, it's always been higher prior to this year. So it's just a really strong, solid market where we're behaving right now. But unfortunately, where everybody focuses on just this right side and says, well, look, it's really slowing down right now, but it's absolutely not from what I'm seeing. Let's look at today versus the 3-year average. In Los Angeles, we're at 41-day expected market time. So it's the slowest of all the Southern California counties. It is also the largest county in the country, but it's a little bit slower pace compared to the rest of SoCal. It was up 9 days since its April 1st low. So people are going, wow, look at how much it slowed down. But Los Angeles' 3-year average is 70 days. That's 29 days higher than where we are today. Orange County's at 27 days. That's up 6 days since its April 1st low. And Orange County's 3-year average, 78 days, which is 51 days higher than where we are today. And Riverside County's at 29 days, up 13 days since March 25th. So it sounds like, wow, has it slowed down? But remember my 40-day threshold, we're far below that. And Riverside County, 89 days is the 3-year average. That's 60 days higher than today. And San Bernardino County is at 34-day expected market time. It's gone up 16 days since February 25th's low. And San Bernardino is 78 days as a 3-year average, which is 44 days higher than today. So you can see how hot it is compared to that 3-year average. And San Diego County is at 29 days. It was up 10 days since its April 1st low. It was at 19 days on April 1st. San Diego County's 3-year average is at 66 days, one of the hottest counties, but that's still 37 days higher than where San Diego County is today. My whole point on that is to show you how hot it is compared to where we normally are right now at this time of the marketplace in the middle of August. So I am saying that there is a calming in the market, just slight calming in the market, because as you get this increased expected market time, the market time when it increases, there is a bit of calming in the marketplace, just not enough. But it is definitely better to be at a 29-day expected market time than a 19-day expected market time. That's where things cool down a little bit. I've started hearing it from people going, I didn't sell the house in the first weekend. I actually had to sell it in the second weekend. Things like that. And where there are some houses that need price reductions, we are getting a little bit more of that. So home values still are screaming up. That's exactly what all of this shows. And there really is no end to sight. People talk about different things that they see with crashes and forbearance and stuff like that. But I look at all the charts and all the data, and everything I'm looking at points to this thing not ending anytime soon. But I do want everybody to know that trends. We got to look at the trends. This is what I was talking about prior to me taking a hiatus, is you just have to look at the trends. And the trend is your friend. And I talked about before, there are different seasons. There's a seasonality this year. There wasn't last year. Last year was a COVID year, and that's why we can't remember. There is a season to this. I get this all the time from many, many different people from all walks of life. Everybody talks about the different transitions. We have a spring market that starts in March and ends at the end of May. That's where inventory slowly rises, and then demand surges and peaks during the spring. And then we get the summer market, which is what we are experiencing and is just about to end. It's the inventory climbs and peaks, which is where it's going right now. It's just about at its peak, and then demand drops slightly. So that's what we've seen, which is why we've had a bit of a slowdown. There's enough distractions out there. People wanted to enjoy a summer. My kid was at junior lifeguards, and there was a ton of junior lifeguards. Last year, there were no camps. There was not that much travel. There was so much less that we're doing, and now we all get to go out and enjoy summer a little bit. And enough people do that together. And there's that collective, all those collective distractions are enough to cool the market down a little bit. People are saying it's because the prices are too high. I was saying it was because of summer, and that's kind of what we're seeing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the next one, which is the fall market. And that's where the inventory slowly drops and then demand slowly drops at the same time. So we get this slow, methodical, and it kind of happens at the same level, because if you saw my expected market time chart for the rest of the year, typically on trend, it stays flat from this point to the end of the year. And the reason for that is because inventory drops and demand drops kind of at the same rate. And then we go into the holidays. That's the second week of November, right before Thanksgiving. That's where demand plunges and inventory plunges. So we get this big plunge in the inventory and demand. And people go, yeah, look at how much demand's come down. Well, there's a lot of people that unfortunately place their homes on the market that even today that aren't able to sell, that are going to give up, and it's going to erode the number of homes on the market. And I didn't think we'd be able to do it last year. We certainly did. People say, I don't think we're going to be able to do it this year. I absolutely think it's still going to happen, just like it normally does. There are still some people that will pull their homes off the market for the holidays. Then we'll go into the winter market, which is after the first of the year. It's about the second week of January after we forego all of our New Year's resolutions. And that's where demand increases and inventory does not change much. So we get this inventory that kind of stays flat and demand increases. So as a result, the market gets hotter and hotter, and people go after Super Bowl, they say, wow, this is really the best time of the year to place your home on the market. It really is a good time, but a lot of families don't want to place their homes on the market until spring, so that it's not a distracting move for the kids. So that's our housing debrief for today. If you want a copy, go ahead and put it in the chat. I'll be more than happy to send you a copy of it. The one prerequisite is you have to be a subscriber of the Housing Report to get a copy of this. I'll give you a PDF version of the whole entire thing. And go to reportsonhousing.com, become a subscriber if you're not. And it's $15 per month or $150 per year. You get a month free if you utilize the coupon code August. I'd like to thank our sponsor once again, Monarch Coast Financial, Kevin Buddy. And he deals with everything from full doc loans to private money loans and everything in between. And he's been doing this for a long time, since 1976. He even did my refinance of my home, did a fantastic job. He's got a great people that work for him as well. So contact Kevin Buddy, let him help you, 949-422-2075 at Monarch Coast Financial. Thanks, Kevin. And that's all I have. I know that there was a couple questions that were out here. Is days on market here, let's see what this says. Is your expected market time including all price ranges? Yes. And Fred, I actually take I take my expected market time and I divvy it up by price range. Do you know that luxury across Southern California, they have different price ranges? The luxury expected market time is at 50 days. I've never seen anything like that. It's hot in the upper ranges as well, and it's even hotter in the lower ranges. So that mine is the expected market time that I was referring to in this report was collectively for the entire county. So let's see. And let's see, I think there was another question I saw on here really quick. Yeah, John was asking, I wonder if there's any data on reverse mortgages and if they have any correlations with boomers staying in their homes longer, resulting inventory supply being lower. I'd be interested to find that out. You know what? This was kind of this is the way they work in Europe. People stay in their homes for a very, very long time, and it's almost like we're going European. Like that's our mindset. We're staying in our homes longer. This is the family house. This is where we want to be. That's kind of our mentality in the house that we live in right now. That we don't want to move anytime soon at all, and we don't have a reverse mortgage. But I think it's kind of more of that kind of a shift in our thinking versus I should move, I should go to a townhome, downsize, that type of thing. So let's see. I think I've answered pretty much all the little questions that I had on there. I appreciate it. I'll be sending everybody a copy shortly. I also have to coach of my daughter's game. She has that scrimmage that she was talking about, so I'll be going off to that shortly. But I appreciate you guys hanging in there and all the little technological glitches that happened with the restream broadcast that I use. But thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Same time, 3 p.m. next week, Friday. Thanks much. Have a fantastic day.